Welcome to Alchemy Avenue, where we transform in real time, trust the vibe, and grow on purpose. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement, a reminder that you don't need fixing, just unlocking. Around here, we laugh, we build, we heal, and we elevate, all powered by that deep inner knowing that says, this is exactly where I'm meant to be. You were made for this version of you, so let's expand, let's enjoy it, and let's keep becoming who we already are. Tap in. This is Alchemy Avenue. Welcome back to Alchemy Avenue. I hope you are doing fantastic, well, and amazing today. I hope your mind is sound, your health is on vibrant, and today you just walking with power and confidence. Great to have you back. Today, let's get into it. Today's episode, we're going to unlock some things. Today, let's go into be so embodied that doors forget to lock. Be so embodied that doors forget to lock. We've spent years asking to be let in, auditioning, adjusting, and waiting. But what if the shift isn't about getting access? It's about becoming such a clear residence of your truth that the doors themselves no longer remember how to stay closed. I'm talking about any kind of energetic doors, health doors, mental doors, opportunity doors, physical doors, whatever kind of door that you perceive. That's what we're talking about today. This isn't about proving value. This is about becoming so embodied that your presence becomes undeniable. You're not here to knock. You're here to resonate. Let's get into that today, where we're so confident that, and not in an egotistical way, a arrogant way, but in a truth way, that you understand you. I'm talking about from how you want to look at it, from an A to Z, a full circle, however that is. You understand you so much, you love you so much, that now you get to walk in clarity and precision and embody the true essence of who you are, that doors forget how to lock. We're going to unpack that. We're going to move with that today. And we're going to leave this conversation. I say we, because these topics that we go into is literally me. Just, meditation and coming up with the ideas of the episodes and then unpacking them, or something, that happened in real life. Prompted, a title or prompted a situation, and I say, okay, let's unpack this. So we're collectively, we're working it out and moving and growing and expanding together. So it's not, you, it's us, it's we. This is how, I'm just giving this in real time because I'm working this out as well. What is embodiment really? Beyond the buzzword, beyond the cliche things that people say and the way that it's used, what really is embodiment? Let's peel this way back. Embodiment has become so trendy, but embodiment isn't about ascension or elevation alone. So ascension and elevation, so you do want to get to those higher states so you can be your best version. But it's not just, at least to me, it's not just that alone. It's about integration and inhabiting the version of you that isn't waiting anymore. Let's break it down. It's not about perfection. Embodiment is not about perfection. It's about never messing up or always been on a high vibe. It's not about that either. It's not about never messing up, never making a mistake, and always being like I'm so high that I can't. I'm vibrating so high that I cannot see this, or this cannot affect me. It's not about that. It's about presence through the imperfections. Things are going to happen. Challenges. You're going to make a mistake. You're going to, and I say mistake, like you may do something like at work, or you may, forget to do something, or you may do something as simple as carrying groceries and the bag busts. You may be in the store and, something falls out your hand, or, anything from, again, maybe some big things, to the smallest little just how did that happen kind of things. Like for instance, because I make tea. I was making tea one day, so I use the mason jars. I got the kettle, do the water. I put my different herbs and all kind of stuff. So I use a lot like blue lotus, peppermint, lemongrass, rose, lavender. I use a lot of different herbs for just a lot of different things. So I was making my tea like I normally do. Have my water going in the kettle. My herbs are all inside of the mason jar. Do my thing. It's hot. The kettle whistles. I pour the water inside of the mason jar like I normally do. I let it steep for, depending on what I'm doing. I normally like to do about 5 minutes. If I'm doing something, of course, the longer the better, as always, to me at least. So when I came back, because I was ready, I was about to do my tea, I had to do my thing. Literally lift up the mason jar, the strain it. I'm talking about it broke in a perfect circle. As soon as I lift the glass up, everything fell out. When I say everything, everything. So all the herbs, everything is everywhere, and hot water is everywhere. When things like that happen to me, I just breathe just like that and just smile and laugh. I say, wow, 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 wow. So, of course, now I don't have tea that I wanted. And now I got to clean up a big mess. Not just, so this just fell on the side. No, 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 no. I'm talking about tea, water, herbs, everywhere. So again, you gotta laugh at these situations. I mean, at least for me, it helps me. It helps me, especially those one-off. How did that happen? There's no way. There's no way I could even redo this if I wanted to. Those situations. So again, embodiment is not about perfection or anything. It's about staying in that place of who you are and what you are, even through any of the imperfections, about letting your frequency be consistent enough to anchor even in the chaos. I like calling it being the eye of the storm. Because in hurricanes, you got everything going around. Boom, 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 wind, water, could be lightning, could be thunder, everywhere. But inside of the eye, it's calm. It's calm. Birds are even flying and just, chilling inside the eye of the storm. So letting your frequency be consistent through chaotic situations, challenging situations, however you want to categorize it. It's not clean edges, it's coherence. Embodiment isn't about proving worth. You're not earning alignment by hustling or being palatable. Let's hear that part. Cause this part, so you're not earning alignment by hustling. So do. You're not earning that by, hustle. And I get it. People say, well, I gotta be a doer. Right. You do. But again, you have to know yourself and know what path you're on and understand what that looks like for you. And also too, it's not being, like I said, palatable, being digestible, being, likable, being someone that, oh my God, I got to be this. I got to do this. I'm around these people. I got to be this. I got to be that. It's not about that either. True embodiment means you stop trading performance for validation. It's the quiet confidence of someone who no longer asks to be chosen. You don't ask to be chosen. You have literally chose yourself. And that's cool. That's it. That's all you need. I've chosen myself. And cool. Now I can move. Now I can start moving. Embodiment isn't just thinking empowered thoughts. It's not about, all the things that you can say and all the different things that you can, the mantras, which those are amazing. Everything that you can say to yourself and say about yourself. Those things are very, very important. But that's not, to me, that's not the whole equation to this embodiment. It's when your body gets the memo, because our body stores trauma. You have to, we that is, science has definitely backed that, how your body stores different issues and different, emotional ties. Your body stores those different things. When your nervous system, breath, and posture all align with your truth. What is your truth? That's a question for you. What is your truth at this very now moment? And what about you are you like, okay, now I can move with clarity? Because you have to practice this. It's ongoing. It's ongoing, because you're gonna find yourself in thought patterns and situations. Don't care how aligned and how powerful you are during these stages, but you're gonna find yourself in situations where different thoughts, different emotions come up, and you're still going to have to move and still going to have to, evaluate, how do you feel, and do I need to act on this, or how do I need to move in all situations? Not from hype, but from integration. This isn't about saying I am powerful. It's about being the one who no longer needs to say it out loud. And not saying you don't. I don't want this to feel like, oh, I can't say nothing, or I can't. No. You still do those things, but you don't. To me, all these different things are about, I don't need. I'm not in a place of neediness. I don't need to do these things, because I am those things. I am the I am, I am that I am, I am. That's just, to me, that's the next part of how you move. This isn't about saying I am powerful. It's about being the one who no longer needs to say it out loud. Let's take this in right here. Where am I still performing alignment instead of embodying it? You got to answer that. Where am I still performing alignment instead of embodying it? Where? That's a question for us. And to me, it's a great question for us to just settle in. You don't have to be an immediate answer. Just sit with the question. Find the first place that comes up, and then unpack it. Why locked doors forget to lock? Let's get into that right there. Is I love that sentiment. Why locked doors forget to lock? Reality doesn't respond to effort. It responds to frequency, coherence. When you're fully integrated, doors don't open. They simply don't resist. That's the part. It's not that they're not locking. You're removing the point of resistance to your situation, or your next level, or your next, whatever you call it. You're removing, or it's very little resistance. You stop encountering resistance, not because things get easier, but because you've become energetically undeniable. It's you. The energy. The energy is the key. You are the key. This isn't about luck or chance. It's about the laws of resonance. When your signal is whole, the field recognizes not to reward you, but because it must. The field recognizes you not to reward you, because you have done something good, because you are who you are. And that's just the logical next step. That's just the logical thing to just put you in a space where you already energetically feel. It's just the next logical step. Where am I still knocking where I should be knowing? What if being fully me is the passcode I've been waiting for? Because a lot of times we want to ask questions. When is this going to happen? when can I have this? When are the guys, or when is God? However, you articulate, the higher power. When is that opportunity going to come from me? What if you being your fully authentic self, or even walking to that direction? That's the passcode. That's the key. That is the unlocking mechanism that you've been waiting for. What if you just being your silly, funny, weird, off to the left, off to the right, a little, to the side. However, what I'm saying, you see yourself with your quirkiness, with your humor, with your figuring out ability, with your getting things done ability, with your power to see things quickly that other people may not be able to see, to be able to understand concepts the way you do. Like, what if you just loving all of that about you? And that's the passcode. That's it. That's it. Literally, you being you. With the way you smile, the way you do your hair, the way you have your hair cut, the way the way you walk, the way the way you write, everything about you. What if everything about you is it for you? Because to be honest with you, that's the only thing that you can be. That's the only thing you can be anyway. So why not? So less collectively. Again, I'm always talking to myself with these different builds, these co-creations. I'm always talking, to us, because myself as well. Let's just understand who we are and love it to the highest degree. Kinetic stillness, grace that moves worlds. Now let's kind of go into the paradox of power. Stillness doesn't mean stagnation. It means nothing to prove. This is kinetic stillness. We've talked about, a version of this before. Movement that doesn't disturb your peace. Action that doesn't fracture your frequency. Grace that changes rooms. Because you change rooms. I'm telling you, once you start moving the way you move, you change rooms without using any kind of force, and especially not raising your voice. This is where you stop being on and just are. Again, let me say that. Let me say that again. This is where you stop being on and just are. My presence is the power. My stillness is the signal. My embodiment is the entryway. So let's try something. As we move through the world, let your walk say, I am the one the space was already making room for. I am the one that the space, wherever that is that you go. But again, that's why even before I got on this spiritual walk the way that I do it now, I've always said I'm always where I'm supposed to be. I've always said that. I didn't always just say believe it, but I said it for a while. I am the one the space was already making room for. Because it's true. It's definitely true. So let's get into some practices to radiate, soften, and stay resonant. Embodiment mirror ritual. So let's talk about some things we can do to, cultivate and just, create a great space for ourselves to be able to feel free enough to, because once we feel free with ourselves, then it's easier to be out and be around other people because we know ourselves more. We have poured into ourselves. So let's get into, there's a few different things I like to do. So a mirror ritual, and I got another level of this too. So each morning, meet your reflection. So in the mirror, However, wherever you're at, if you got a mirror in your bathroom, if you got a mirror, a tall mirror, like somewhere in your house. So each morning, meet your reflection and ask, are you waiting to be let in, or are you walking like you already belong? Are you waiting to be let in? Like, knock, knock, hey, I'm here. Or are you already walking like you belong? So you just walk in. As I said, you didn't unlock the door. You didn't use the key. You were literally the key. You were the key. So the door just opened. So you just walk in. You belong there. Wherever there is, it doesn't matter where there is. This whole realm, you belong here. So it doesn't matter where there is. You belong. You belong. Another level of that, what I've kind of just figured out, it was a very interesting meditation I had where I was sitting meditating, and I don't know if I was connected with my higher self, and it kind of felt like I was my consciousness was connected with my higher self, and it was looking back at me, and it was actually me as my higher self. I don't know how to make this make sense, but hope it makes sense. It was me as my higher self, which I'm always my higher self. But it's, again, if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm me in this carnation meditating, and it just seems like my higher self I was me as my higher self looking at this version of me, and I was just pouring into myself from my higher self perspective. So I was saying things I've never said to myself, about, your cells and your you as an organism and your DNA, and just going in about a lot of different things that I'm just telling about myself. And it was very, very transformative. So that right there was like a mirror. It's like a reflection. That's what that was. And it was very powerful. Very, very powerful. Breathing into home. Place one hand over your chest, one hand over your belly, and breathe and affirm. I am here. I am whole. I no longer outsource access to who I am. No more. A walking code activation. As you move today and every day after this, carry the intentional phrase, I don't knock, I resonate. And I get it, you're going to be shocked and surprised when situations and you are in places that you didn't think you could be. You're going to be shocked at first. You're going to, say to yourself, wow, how did I get here? Again, just know you're supposed to be there. Again, we've already there. You're supposed to be there. So as we move today, let's carry the internal phrase, I don't knock, I resonate. These are not affirmations to hype yourself up. They are codings to remind your body that you're already home. You're already there. So let's use embodiment as the gatekeeper. Embodiment isn't a destination. It's the dissolving of every reason you had to delay. So embodiment removes everything that you were saying, I can't do this because. Embodiment removes that. You are no longer seeking access. You've become the architecture. No more knocking. No more waiting. No more adjusting to the digestible. I seen something, maybe a while ago. It was like, I don't want to be digestible. If they can't handle it, just let them choke. I don't want to go that far because I don't want to hold no resistance to, something, just being out of, lack. But again, no longer. No more adjusting to be digestible. You know how much work that takes anyway? You know how much work that takes to be in a space and now you feel like everybody uncomfortable or somebody's uncomfortable, and now you got to reduce yourself, and now you can't be funny, articulate, empowered. You can't smile. You can't walk the way you normally do. You can't, eat how you want to eat. You can't, tell a joke like you normally tell a joke. You can't be amazing and, funny and like sunshine. You know how hard it is how much work that take to reduce yourself? Let's think about that. But to be honest with you, it's all, for naught anyway. It doesn't matter because what happens when the sun gets blocked by clouds? You still can see it. It's still daylight outside, even though it's blocked. Even when the sun is on the other side of the earth, you still got the moonlight. So you doing this only lessens your intensity. And not saying that you are going to be so rah-rah. I'm not saying you have to be that, but just be yourself though. Be yourself, because it's still going to shine through. Little peaks of it going to shine through anyway. So you might as well be the fool. You might as well give yourself. Don't even worry about nobody. Just give yourself the full leisure of being your best version. You don't have to get louder. You just have to get clearer. You're not the guest. You're the frequency the building was made for. Yes. Yes. Again, we're not saying these things, or I'm not saying these things from a place of ego and arrogance. But to me, that's a perfect sentiment. You are not the guest. You're the frequency the building was made for. You're not here to prove your strength through noise. Your softness is your stance. And I say softness, I use the word softness, not as a, that we have to be, vulnerable to, people doing stuff and being mistreated. Like I say this a lot, I don't mind being used, but you're not going to misuse me. So I'm not saying that when I say softness, just being able to be, pliable and fluid enough to be able to understand each situation, because each situation is going to call for something different. So that's when I say softness is what I mean. Your grace is your geometry, and your rain, your embodiment signal is already reshaping the world. So let's land with this today. You're not earning your place. You're revealing your presence. So you're not earning your place here. You're revealing your presence. Be so embodied that doors forget why they ever even locked anyway. So let's move with power, passion, and joy on today. Big shout out to my wife, 7/27. It's a birthday. Happy birthday. We love you as a family and continue to keep doing what you do. Let's move with so much gratitude for ourselves and so much grace that whenever it's time for us to give it to others, it's not a stretch. It's not saying it's the easiest thing to do, but it's just easier because we know what it looks like for ourselves. I appreciate everyone that tunes in, comments, and stops me and, says things, send me messages. So I really appreciate that. Also, too, the light language behind me. You can hit me up at Alchemy Avenue 859 if you need me to send you a print, if you need me to commission something for you. Just let me know. Contact me at Alchemy Avenue 859 at gmail.com. I've already did several prints for some people for different occasions, birthdays, new house, or just want to, something new in their space. So just get with me. I would love to, talk to you and build and get you something out. So as always, take care, love yourself so you can love others. Ashe.